written in IRS true or false questions. So the first thing you're going to do is have the seller write their name on line 1. Make them print their name. Line 2 is going to be the address. And that's the address of whatever residence is being sold. This might be pre-filled, it might not be. If it's not pre-filled, make sure it is the residence that's being sold, whatever property is for sale. The next line 3, taxpayer identification number. It says TIN for taxpayer identification number. That's actually their social security number. If this happened to be in a corp, you might see an EIN number. If it's in a trust, they might have a TIN number. Generally, if it's just a sale by just regular people, you're going to tell them to put their social security number on line 3. So the next one is question number 1. They're asking about the length of time that they own the property. If they owned and used the residence as a primary for periods aggregating 2 years or more during the 5-year period, ending on the date or exchange of the residence, then that's going to be true. If they didn't live and use it as a primary for 2 years or more in a 5-year span, that's going to be false. They might tell you it was a rental property, they never used it as a primary, so that's going to be false. If they did own and use it as a primary residence for 2 years or more, it's going to be true for them. Next question is asking if they've sold or exchanged any other principal residence in the 2-year period ending on the date or the sale of the exchange of the property. If they haven't sold anything else, it's going to be true. If they have sold anything else, it's going to be false. Number 3, no portion of the residence has been used for business or rental purposes by me or my spouse if I am married after May 6th of 1997. If they didn't use it as a business or rental, it's going to be true. The next one, number 4. 4 is asking about these next 3 statements. If one of the following 3 statements is true, then you're going to mark true. If none of those 3 statements are true, they're going to mark false. The first statement is for a single person. The sale or exchange of the entire residence is $250 or less. If it's $250 or less, it's true. If they're married and the sale or exchange of that residence is $500 or less, and the gain on the sale or exchange of the residence is $250 or less, it's going to be true. And the last one, if they're married and the sale or exchange of the entire residence is $500 or less, and they intend to file a joint return for the year of the sale, my spouse used the residence as his or her personal principal residence for 2 years or more in the 5 years, or the sale of exchange of the property, they're going to mark true. So if one of those 3 is true, again, you're going to mark true. If it's not true, none of the 3 are true, then they're going to mark false. An example of a false would be a single person selling a property for $255. So the first one's not true. They didn't sell it for $250. They sold it for $255, and they're not married. So the next 2 don't even matter. So none of those 3 are true. They're going to mark false. The next question goes down to number 5. During the 5-year period ending on the date of the sale or exchange, I did not acquire the residence in an exchange to which Section 1031 of the Internal Revenue Code applied. Most people won't know what 1031 paperwork is. If they purchase this property with 1031 paperwork, then it's going to be false. If they bought it with cash, or they bought it with a loan, they didn't do 1031 paperwork, then that statement's going to be true. They didn't acquire it on 1031. So it makes the last one, if they did not do 1031 paperwork, it just makes it NA. Number 6 is asking about the basis in the residence is determined, by the 1031 paperwork, basically the easy way to explain that. So if they didn't do 1031 paperwork, then it's going to be an NA. for number 6. The last part, seller certification, the seller's gonna sign